Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tensei Shitara Slime Datta again, or that time I was reincarnated as a slime, episode 12. So this is probably the end of the mid-core. It might be next episode. I don't know if they're going to do 13 and then do a break. I don't know if they're going to do a break at all. I don't know if next week will be a break, but that does remind me next Monday is Christmas Eve, so I will not be able to do a review then. I probably won't be able to do one Christmas Day either. So if there is an episode next week, know that my review for it probably won't be until Wednesday. Just to give you a heads up ahead of time, because of obviously the holidays falling right there. But yeah, this episode, I really liked it. I've come around to the pacing a lot. It's really slow paced, but I like that a lot. It lets me just kind of chill and enjoy the story and take everything in. But at the same time, it had some really cool concepts. Like, I thought the Orc Army concept was just amazing. I thought it was really good. But let's discuss it from the beginning so I don't forget anything. Starting at the beginning, we have kind of the explanation of what's going on with the dryads and stuff. They can see whatever all around the forest. They have this knowledge. But even though they have this knowledge, they can't really defend themselves against an army of 200,000 orcs. So they need Rimuru's help to do so. He and his village, town of people. But Rimuru says that, he has to think about it. Because though it's kind of the right thing to do to help them out to fight the Orc Lord, at the same time, getting into a battle that might be none of his business and endangering the lives of his people, not so good a thing. So I like that a lot, that Rimuru didn't immediately say, yes, I am the main character, I will go do this. He said, I have to think about it. I have to think about all the people living in my little town village, whatever. So when they start explaining, yeah, we didn't find any bodies where the last attack was, I was like, oh my god, is this like a necromancy thing? And they were like, yeah, that explains how they're able to keep this army going and keep this army fed. And I was like, oh, is it a necromancy thing, or is this like a zombie orc army? But no, it's even more creative and cool than that. The Orc Lord has the ability Starved, and there's also a Majin behind the Orc Lord, but what Starved does is it makes it so that all the Orc Lord's men, whenever they consume a dead body, they gain that person's strength. And that comes in a really creative way at the end of the episode that I'll get into. But it's really creative in general, that just they have this army with this constant hunger that destroys everything in their path, and their insatiable hunger. They eat all the enemy and ally corpses along the way, getting stronger as they go. It's like just this complete war machine of an army, and it's a really cool concept. And we haven't even, we saw the one flashback, but we haven't really seen the Orc Lord themselves properly, and it's really cool so far. Soei offers to go speak with the Lizard Man's chief, because Rimuru decides, we might as well work together, because it seems like the battle is probably next heading to the homeland of the Lizard Men. I love the background Lizard Men when we get back to Gabiru. I love the background Lizard Men. They're funny once again. We get our introduction to, we had seen them before. There was one brief scene where we'd seen this character design before, but they're Laplace, the servant of Gelmud. You know what, actually, it might not be in the show that we've seen the design, but there was a trailer, a PV that the animation studio put out like maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was only 1 week ago, but they put out this new PV for the next arc. It was like a trailer for the next arc. And we saw this character design there. So that's where I've seen it. Then now I'm remembering. But Laplace, a servant of Gelmud. So they had a cool design and everything. Their voice was, I believe it's the same voice actor as Zoro from One Piece, and the voice was, like, when you have that iconic a role and that iconic a character, when you hear it, you can't think of anything other than Zoro. Like, I've heard Nami's voice actress in a bunch of things before, and all I can ever think of is, oh, that's just Nami's voice. Yeah, he had a very Zoro-sounding voice. So they all go to do whatever. He basically is playing a really cool role, where not only are they behind the Orc Army, causing the Orc Army to do what they're doing with this conquest of Jura, but they also have their hands in a lot of other places, where we saw before that they attempted to name the ogres, which would have been really interesting, actually. If the ogres were doing their own independent thing being named, it would be pretty incredible, because they would have been entirely strong when the orc army reached them. But we also know that Gelmud's the one that named the original Rieger, so they were dealing in goblin stuff. They are the ones who named Gabiru, so they're messing with the lizard man stuff. So it's interesting that not only are they have to have some sort of extra plan, because if their plan was just to take over the forest and they had the Orc Lord doing this, that they were just going to wipe out the whole forest basically, then they wouldn't have any need to go around naming people from the other species. So since they're going around and naming all these other monsters, it makes you think that they have a deeper plan than just the conquest of the Forest of Jura. There's something more important there behind it all. So then we actually see Soe meeting with the chieftain, and I love that a lot because I really like the chieftain and the captain of the guard. I guess they're the father and sister of Gabiru. And the chieftain says he wishes to meet Rimuru in 7 days, but they don't get to make it that long because 4 days later we jump to lizard men killing an orc and Gabiru returning with 7,000 goblin allies. So he takes over and gains the Vortex Spear. So doing the dumb thing, but either way he's being manipulated, so you can't really blame it on him too much. Then the lizard men start attacking the army, and this is one of the coolest thing ever. They start attacking the army. They're actually doing really, really well. They're killing a bunch of the orcs without losing much of their own people. They're using ambush tactics of attacking them and then running away, attacking them, then running away, and it's really cool. And they're thinning out this huge army of 200,000 people, which would normally be a good thing. And then they caught me off guard with something that I didn't even think about at the time, even though the concept had already been explained. As they're thinning out this army, the remaining orcs are eating the ones that they've killed and getting stronger. So basically what they're doing, the more they thin out this army of 200,000, the stronger the ones that are left become. So it's like, you kind of want them to be a large army, because the smaller you make it, the stronger they're going to be. Unless, of course, you took the tactic of just attacking them while they were trying to eat. Because it seems like that could actually be a good strategy, since they seem pretty distracted when they're doing it. But either way, I thought it was really, really, really cool. And the ending was just a really cool episode ending. And this show does the thing where I've brought it up before, where it's like, episodes aren't necessarily contained in themselves, so it makes it harder to give it a score or review it as an episode. We just kind of like start the story, carry on with the story, then when we hit 24 minutes, it's like, we'll drop it off here and continue on the next week. It's very unepisodic. It's not like this episode's covering this, the next episode's covering this. Even if they go in sequence, this is like completely just, we're going to tell one story and you could probably string it all together and there would be like no awkward cuts or no delineation between them. We're just going to tell the story, and each time we hit 20 some minutes we're going to cut it off until next week. So it's a very interesting way to tell a story that I don't know that I would describe any other show that I've been watching as being like this at all, because even shows like One Piece and the longer running shows have these things where you can tell they need to start an episode here and an episode here, and that's how they're pacing it. But the pacing of this show is very unique. So some general thoughts. I love Rimuru's allies. The relationship he has with all the characters that were around the table with the strategy meeting was all really, really cool. The concept of the starved ability, or unique skill I guess it is really, really cool. I love the starved concept and the concept of the orc army and orc lord. It's really, really cool. I really like the chieftain and the guard captain. I hope we see more of them. The chieftain's really cool. The guard captain is, I mean, she's a lizardman, but kind of cute. But either way, and I enjoy the pacing. It is a very slow, methodical pacing, but I really enjoy it because it lets us take time to think about everything. It doesn't feel like anything skipped over. It doesn't feel like we're missing out on anything. It feels like every interaction we see, we're getting to see. There's not a bunch of stuff happening off screen. Everything that happens is happening on screen. And I actually really enjoy that. Especially after Index 3 this season. Though I'm enjoying it, the pace is like incredibly rushed and super fast paced. So it's cool to just chill with something a lot slower paced that's really taking its time to develop every single little thing. So I like that. I like this episode a lot. It's one of my favorite ones so far. Don't know if I would say it's my favorite, but it's up there. And I'd actually give it as pretty close to perfect score, 9.5 starved armies out of 10. I really liked this one. The story was really good behind it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this arc. I want to see what kind of fights we're going to get and matchups and stuff. Like, because we've got a lot of the build-up. We've got a lot of character work and story work. So now I want to see that all pay off with some really cool fights. I want to see what happens with not only this one servant of Gelmud we saw, but the other servants, and Gelmud themselves, and the Orc Lord, of course, and how they match up, who they fight among Rimuru and his allies, and which allies get what kind of fights. I think it's going to be really, really cool to watch. So I'm excited about this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode yourself, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more. Tensei Shitara, Slime Datta again, much more on the channel. I think I'm going to have a video this weekend, maybe. It depends on when I get around to it. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it quite yet, but I'm thinking this weekend maybe, where I'm going to do my thing where I watch all the PVs for all the anime coming up next season, and I go through and talk about which ones I want to watch and which ones I'm thinking of reviewing. I've already said which ones I think I'm reviewing before, but I'll say them again in that video, of course, because I'm going to be discussing what my thoughts are going into everything next season. And maybe sometime before New Year's, maybe the week after that, we'll see how busy things are from the stuff I miss from Christmas. I think I want to do a video where I talk about anime from this season, like shows that I watched and really liked but didn't review on the channel, and also stuff I did review on the channel, just some general thoughts of anime this season, and which ones I really liked or really thought were okay, which ones I would say, in hindsight after watching, I would recommend to people to go back and marathon. So I'll probably talk about the first core of this there when I get to it. So, yeah, sub for any of that. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to talk to you there. Or wait. Yeah, I said follow on Twitter, right? I don't know where I am. But either way, if you follow on Twitter, I'll keep you updated there and stuff for the channels, or I can talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord, it's free and open for anyone. And, yeah, guess that's about it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.